You there? Yes, you, a thinking being, or at least trying to be, who is there believing everything you read in a post with a beige background and dubious typography on Instagram? Enough. Today, we are going to talk about completely wrong facts that you, me, your grandmother, and basically the whole society still believe as if it were a science class with a seal from the MEC. And look, the list is so bizarre that you'll leave this video doubting even your birth certificate. 1. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. Let's start with lie number 1 in the fun facts that the teacher passed off as truth in 2006 kit. The Great Wall of China is the only human construction visible from space. Wrong. False. Impossible. Ancestral fake news. Is the wall long? Yes. Pretty? Sure. But visible from space? Only if you're Superman with a NASA telescope zoom built into your eyeball. In fact, astronauts report that the wall is almost impossible to see from Earth's orbit with the naked eye. You know what you can see? Highways. Because, well, there's nothing more human than destroying a forest to get a Corolla through. 2. We only use 10% of our brain. Oh, this is a classic. Did you know that we only use 10% of our brain? Yes. And from some comments I see on the internet, some people use about 3% at most. But no, dear evolving sapiens, this is completely false. The truth is that we use practically all parts of the brain, just at different times. Like that coworker who never does anything. But when it's time to eat cake, he's the first one to show up. Your brain is like this. He works as a team, but in an organized way. This myth was probably born from a misunderstanding and mistranslation, combined with that insane human desire to feel like a misunderstood genius. 3. Napoleon was short. Another victim of historical fake news, Napoleon Bonaparte, the supposed angry dwarf of France. Plot twist, the guy was 1.69 meters tall, which was above average for the time. So why does everyone think he was a hobbit with anger issues? Simple. British propaganda. The English love to portray Napoleon as a belligerent gnome, like that meme about the little guy fighting the wind. Result? Centuries later, the myth stuck. And today, the guy is remembered as the little guy who wanted to rule the world. In other words, Napoleon was not small. You who were deceived by a geopolitical scam with side effects in your history book. 4. Humans have only 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. 5 senses. All cute, like a Monica's Gang cartoon explaining the human body. But do you know what that is? A lie simplified to fit on the teacher's board. In reality, we have at least 15 senses. And some scientists suggest even more. In addition to the classics, we have balance. Thanks, ear labyrinth. Proprioception, the sense of where your body is, even with your eyes closed. Thermoception, sensing temperature. Nociception, pain. And even time perception. This one fails a lot on Sunday nights. In other words, you're practically an X-Men, only with bills. 5. Vikings wore horned helmets. Wrong. Completely wrong. Totally Viking fanfic sponsored by the Hollywood costume department. The Vikings never wore horned helmets. 0, not 1. That would be an open invitation to die from a sword strike, because horns catch, hook, and serve as a handle for decapitation. The image of the horned Viking came from a 19th century opera because the set designer thought horns added drama, and suddenly, boom! Pop culture latched onto this like it was a Pinterest tutorial. 6. If you touch a puppy, the mother rejects it. Classic from the zoo and from the WhatsApp aunt. Don't touch the cub, otherwise the mother will reject it because of its human scent. Oh, how sad. But also a lie. Most animals don't care what you smell like. They recognize their young by sound, appearance, location, and yes, sometimes even by smell, but they don't get upset that easily. Now, sure, if you try to take care of the baby like it's your Tamagotchi, the mother might think it's weird. But a little touch? Relax. That's more of an urban legend than a biological rule. 7. Blood is blue inside the body. This is science Barbie in action. Did you know that blood is blue inside the body and only turns red when it comes out? Did you know that this is a collective delusion sponsored by lazy textbooks? Blood is always red. The difference is that inside the body, blood vessels reflect light in a way that makes it appear blue through the skin. It's like that optical effect that makes you see a gold dress that's blue, or vice versa. No, blood doesn't change color when you breathe air. It just changes hue depending on the oxygen, lighter or darker red. But blue? Only if you're an Avatar character. 8. Coffee dehydrates. Whoever spread this must have been sleepy. The story is, don't drink too much coffee, it dehydrates the body. Okay, so the water in the coffee evaporates, it comes in and says, oh, this one has caffeine, bye? No, right, the truth. Coffee has a mild diuretic effect, meaning it can make you go to the bathroom more. But it's not enough to make you dehydrated unless you've been drinking espresso in the desert for the past 3 days. In fact, studies show that coffee does contribute to hydration, as it is basically hot water with drama. 9. The tongue has specific zones for each taste. Another classic of Nutella pedagogy. On the tip of the tongue, we feel sweet, on the sides, salty. Delicious lie. This tongue map was based on a poorly translated study from 1901. Yes, 1901, when people still thought that taking arsenic would cure headaches. The truth is that all regions of the tongue can perceive all flavors. The difference is subtle. Some areas are more sensitive than others, but there is no bitter zone, like a culinary GPS for your mouth. In other words, you can taste a chocolate bar with your whole tongue. Just don't try it with your forehead, please. 10. You swallow 8 spiders a year while sleeping. This one is the height of gratuitous weirdness. You swallow 8 spiders a year while you sleep. What do you mean, Brazil? Spiders now do nocturnal oral tourism? This lie was created precisely to prove how easy it is to spread lies on the internet. Irony? 100%. Because guess what? The world believed it and shared it, and to this day, they repeat it. The truth, spiders avoid humans. They have no interest in exploring your throat like it's Indiana Jones's cave. If you sleep with your mouth open, there's a greater chance of a mosquito getting in, or, at most, a bad vibe. But a spider? Only if it's looking for Wi-Fi. Conclusion? The truth is that we were raised with a complete kit of misinformation disguised as general culture. And you know what's even crazier? Most of these lies were not created out of malice, but out of carelessness, poor translation, or the pure need to make everything more didactic. The problem is that, over time, these facts have become almost a religion. We defend them as if they were personal opinions. We think that correcting them is offensive. But today, you are free. Free to look at the world and say, I know that the Great Wall of China is not visible from space, and that Napoleon was of average height. Thank you. Now go ahead and spread those uncomfortable truths. Correct someone with a wry smile. And remember, the biggest lie of all is to think that we already know everything. If this video made you laugh, cry, or rethink your life, or all of these at the same time, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with that friend who still believes that we only use 10% of our brain. Maybe he'll learn something, right?